Hello, everybody. This is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery. This is Hump Day Hangouts episode number 17, I believe. It is currently February 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I have two of my partners on with me again for support today. I've got Marco and Hernan both. Hey, guys, you want to say what's up?
Hey everybody, how are you doing?
That was
Hi,
Hernan,
everybody.
and that was Marco. So
Yeah.
thanks for helping me out, guys. I appreciate that. We're not going to waste a lot of time on any introductions and stuff too much today. We've got a few things we'd like to cover, and we got a lot of questions already, so we're going to try to get through a lot of this stuff as quickly as possible. So one thing we do want to talk about is that we have the what we're introducing is what's called the Masterclass, the IFTTT SEO Masterclass, right? And this is going to be a different level. I just kind of want to make this announcement up front, and then we're going to get right into questions because we got a ton of questions already, and I'd like to try to get through all of those today. So, but I do want to talk about you guys. Some of you heard this on Monday evening briefly, but I'm going to talk about this right now just a little bit as well. We took the survey from IFTTT SEO Academy purchasers, and we got a lot of really great feedback from you guys. We can't say how much we appreciate the 60 of you that did the survey, because that was really, really helpful. And we listened to what it is that you guys had to say, and we realized that we were kind of alienating a big portion of you by only offering the mastermind level as the next, ongoing coaching thing besides these Hump Day Hangouts, which are free. And so after discussing it with my partners, we decided to come up with a lower level membership that is more for the entry level people, or those of you that are trying to start a business, an SEO business, getting it, more getting into the business, or maybe even you already know how to do SEO, several things, but you're having trouble monetizing your work, all that sort of thing. So we decided to come up with what's called the IFTTT SEO Masterclass, which is a membership based specifically on the IFTTT SEO training, but how to build a business out of that, out of the IFTTT SEO training. Okay, so we're introducing that today. In fact, we've even rearranged our sales funnel a bit so that that is what comes up after purchasing the IFTTT SEO Academy, because it just makes more sense. What our thoughts is that we hope that you guys, this will become more accessible to you guys, for most of you that have responded to the survey, and that you'll come join us. And it's going to be weekly webinars, and I'm going to give you the URL here for that to take a look at the video that I created yesterday for and what it includes and everything. But it's going to be weekly webinars, guys, every single week, immediately following Hump Day Hangouts. We're going to do 1-hour webinars from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so 60 minutes. It's going to be 45 minutes of formal training by me, and then 15 minutes of Q&A. And every single week we're going to have a new topic, and I've got kind of a syllabus outlined of what it's going, at least what the next 10 weeks are going to be, so that we can cover every single aspect required to create a real, true SEO business using IFTTT SEO as the foundation. Okay, so it covers everything, from keyword research to, well, first and foremost is selecting a particular business model and focusing on that, cutting out all other distractions, guys. Unsubscribe from people's lists, stop buying shiny objects and everything, because you have the tools available to create a real business that will generate revenue. And we want to, well, first of all, get focused on something, whatever your particular model may be, and then from there we're going to go step by step in a linear fashion to get you to generating revenue. Okay, and then from there we're going to continue to the ongoing classes again once a week, every single week for 60 minutes. We're going to continue the classes beyond what I have planned out for the next 10 weeks. And again, some of those classes might end up bleeding over into 2 weeks instead of just one. I have a feeling that's going to happen from time to time, so it could be that the 10 weeks ends up being 12 or 14 weeks anyways before we get through what I have scheduled up front. And then as we go through that, we're going to survey you guys again occasionally, maybe once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks, something like that, to try to check the pulse of the group, to see where you guys are, to see what you need additional help with, and try to provide that training as well. So it'll be an ongoing thing, but our thoughts is this, and this is total transparency, guys. I want to make this clear up front, is that a lot of you said that you hadn't joined the mastermind yet because it was a money issue. You wanted to get profitable first before you invested in, in another monthly recurring product, something like that, coaching program. So our hopes is to get you profitable as quickly as possible so that you'll come join the advanced SEO training, which is the mastermind. Okay. and so that you guys are making money, because obviously just knowing how to build the networks isn't enough. And our assumption was that it was going to be enough when we launched the product, but apparently you guys want more. So we're going to give it to you. So I'm going to grab the URL for that very quickly, and let's see. It's going to be let me see. I'm going to take the screen, guys, so you can see this, and then I'll post this in chat as well. And then you guys can just take a look at it. None of you are obligated to buy it. I'm just telling you that it's going to be available for those of you that wanted the additional help. It's only $37 a month. You're going to get 4 hours of my time every month, specifically to what it is that you guys asked for. And there will be a special membership area set up just for this. Let me pause this real quick. There will be a special membership site just like the IFTTT SEO Academy. It'll be a separate membership site where all of the webinar archives are going to be housed. They're going to be, uploaded to that site, along with any of the notes. Okay, so like the webinar notes, any visual aids or graphics that I use during the presentations, timestamps, because we're trying to timestamp every one of our training videos now so that you guys can quickly locate answers to your questions without having to watch the entire webinars. And also links to the additional resources that I point out, and services, tools, things like that that I talk about during the trainings. There will be links for all of those as well. So that's going to be kind of like a resource for you guys. And so again, I'm going to stick this in on the event page. Let me do that. This is going to be a link on the event page. You guys take a look at that if you'd like. And then, like I said, we're going to try to start in 2 weeks from today. So if you guys want to get in and secure your spot now, that's great. I think I'm going to go ahead and start it even if we only have a handful of people, because obviously people are going to be trickling in as time goes on. And I want to get started right away because, like I said, I got at least the first 10 weeks scheduled out. Okay. So with that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start answering questions. Let's see, I saw a question come up over here, and I don't know what that one is. So, all right, and we've got a lot to get through. So I want to start with questions from Michelle Stiles. She says, I just consumed all of your IFTTT SEO Academy course except the last section on RSS over the weekend, and I set up my first network. Awesome job with the training. I have a couple of questions, okay? This network is generic for video syndication. I'm confused about the big picture. At first, it seems like you were connecting this network's YouTube channel to the IFTTT, but later in the live stream, you started substituting your VA Hangouts channel link. Do we create a network and substitute some other channels as the trigger, or should we upload videos that we plan to use to the CPA for CPA to the generic network channel? Okay, great question, Michelle. No, part of the when you're creating a persona network, generally you're not going to be uploading video if you're doing this for video syndication. You're generally not going to be posting to videos or uploading videos to the persona's YouTube channel. The whole reason why we create the YouTube channel is because it's another location that you can tie all of your profiles together on another Google property, especially. Very much like the Google Plus profile page and the Google Plus business page, right? That where you have your links section. I'm going to have to mute somebody. Okay, I guess it's quiet again. So very much like where in Gravatar is another one. And then we mentioned this before. I have yet to put a video in the IFTTT training about this yet, but About.me. About.me is another great site that you can tie all of your accounts together. Okay, and so that's really the only reason why we do that was create a YouTube channel for the persona, is just so that we can have another location to tie all of our profile links together in one spot. Okay, so that's very, very powerful. But what I would suggest that you do is you have a money channel, right? Just like a money site, you'd have a money channel that you're going to be syndicating the videos that you want to rank from, and that's going to be your authority channel that you're going to continue to post videos to, right? And you're going to syndicate from there. So all you do is you connect your networks to your money channel instead. So, and I've talked about this before, and I know it's in the training. So, but I'll reiterate it here. What you want to do is you want to log out, clear your cache and your cookies in Firefox, and then log back into the persona's IFTTT account, and then go activate your money channel YouTube channel as the channel in IFTTT. Does that make sense? So, in other words, you log into your persona's IFTTT account, but you also log into, in another tab in Firefox, you log into your money channel Google account, And then when you go into the Personas IFTTT account and you activate the YouTube channel, it's going to authorize the money channel Google site, because that's the Google account, because you're logged into that. It's going to authorize that channel, so your money channel, in other words. And you're going to want to create a page login, and that is also in the training, and we've covered that every week for the last 3 weeks. So if you don't know how to do that, then just make sure you go back and watch that training. Okay. What happens if we already have some videos on another channel and want to promote them? Well, if you have videos on another channel and you want to promote them on a new channel, you just upload them to the new channel. If it's on another channel, it's not a problem with duplicate content. Don't worry about it. The only time you're going to have trouble with duplicate content is if you try to upload the same video to the same channel more than once. Okay. But if you've got an entirely different channel and you've got videos that's on another channel that you want to promote on your new channel, just download them and upload them again to your new channel. That's all you have to do. Okay, can we create a recipe to favorite them in a playlist and distribute them on the network in that way instead of with an upload trigger? Yeah, actually you can do that. That's not typically something I've done, but yes, that will absolutely work. That's a great idea. In fact, I should probably do an updated training video in stealing your idea and sharing that with others, because that would be a great idea. So you could do that. You could favorite the video and that can be a trigger. When you favorite a video, then it syndicates your favorited video across your network. So that could be another way to do that. A related question is if it's a two-tier network, you would upload your videos on your own channel. Would you favorite them on tier 2, upload them again with a minor change? It's not really a question, but would I upload them to tier 2 with a minor change? No. When you're doing tiered networks, everything is triggered from one YouTube channel, and that's just to your tier 1 networks. Everything else is pushed out. It's going to be basically RSS trigger recipes from that. So in other words, let me see if I can pull up one of these images for you guys so that I can try to make this clear. Marco or Hernan, you guys are still seeing my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if you're using a tiered network structure like this, then your YouTube channel is syndicating or distributing your videos to your tier 1 properties, your tier 1 network properties. Okay. And then from there, so like the way this graphic shows is that your video would be pushed to your Blogger account. Well, then your Blogger account is going to use the RSS recipes, which is in the spreadsheet. They're in the workbook, and they're in the PDF too. You're going to use the RSS recipes and use the Blogger RSS feed to feed this network, which is the second tier network. Likewise with Tumblr and WordPress. You're going to push to Tumblr. Tumblr is going to make the post with the embedded video, and then the video is going to the Tumblr post is going to be syndicated via RSS to all the tier 2 sites. And lastly, WordPress. However, with WordPress, it would essentially, and theoretically, it would be a tier 3 property, and the reason why is because, if you guys know, the WordPress is not auto-embedding now, but if the workaround is if you use the Blogger recipe, which it's RSS to WordPress, you use the Blogger RSS feed to feed WordPress, then the embed will show up. So essentially, WordPress would be a tier 2 link to Blogger, and these would be tier 3 links. It's kind of just a hack to make it work, but essentially it's doing the same thing. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. What is the big picture in terms of how many networks needed to consistently rank videos? It varies. That's a question that I get asked by you guys over and over and over again. Is how many networks is it going to take? And I'm going to tell you it takes as many as it takes. The only way you're going to be able to know is to test your own keywords. Okay, there is no rule of thumb. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing SEO. Okay, so in other words, you need to, what I start out with, guys, if I'm going to syndicate a video, period, to try to rank for a particular keyword, I create at least this structure here, which is 1 tier 1 network and 3 tier 2 networks. So it's a total of 4 rings. That's what I do as the absolute bare minimum. Okay, is a tier 2. You can take it out to tier 3, but I got to be honest with you guys, I very rarely ever go out to tier 3. Instead, I just do multiple 2-tier networks, if that makes sense. We talk about how you can stack networks. Well, that's what we do. That's what I do. Okay, I'll start off with 1 2-tier network structure, which is what you're looking at on this page here. Okay, and then I'll test the keywords, and if I'll see where they land. And then after that, I'll determine, okay, do I need another one? And if so, then I'll add another tier 2 network, two-tier network, or I'll add a couple additional tier 1 networks, which I call secondary tier 1 networks, and test that to see how that's going to work. Okay? But I can't give you a rule of thumb because there is none. How many does it take? As many as it takes. That's how many it takes. So, can we get access to outsourcers through you and the account creation? Yes, you can. I'm so glad you asked. We are actually in the process of hiring this week some new virtual assistants. I have one of my lead video syndication network builders who has already agreed to train our new hires, they're going to manage the training of the new hires because we're going to put them through our outsourcer training portal system anyways. But they're going to be there for the support to help them learn the system very quickly. So we're hoping to have our first new hire that's going to be dedicated to the Semantic Mastery team for you guys so that we can sell you guys done-for-you networks, okay, which will be built to our standards, to our specs, in other words. So, yes, that is going to be available. We're actually hoping to have our first sales page up for that so that we can start taking orders at the beginning of next week. As a matter of fact, probably by this time next week, Hump Day Hangouts next week, we'll make the official announcement and have the sales page URL and everything for you guys. Anybody that is a Semantic Mastery student of any sort, whether you're a monthly member or just a product purchaser, we're going to give you guys a discount on any network builds. We're also going to sell to the general public, but they're going to have to pay more unless they're a student of Semantic Mastery. Okay, so you guys will get a good deal on that. I can see the power in this, and I'm excited to get this incredible system working for me, but I'm not quite seeing the overall plan. I'm not sure what the overall plan would be for you. The overall plan is going to vary for everybody, Michelle, so it just depends on what I always suggest doing is picking a niche and start dominating that niche and just branch out from there, whether you're doing local or CPA or an affiliate stuff, which, by the way, some of our mastermind members requested some training on doing an affiliate, using this method for affiliate marketing, and so I am definitely going to set up a campaign for that and share that with the mastermind members, the full case study. You guys will get bits and pieces of it anyways, but I want to show that this does absolutely work for affiliate and CPA offers as well. So that's coming next. Okay. But great questions, Michelle. I appreciate those questions. Okay, questions from Brian Lichtig. If the IFTTT network syndication is usually coming from an RSS feed according to the PDF you had supplied, I guess the question is most of the RSS feeds coming from...
Hey, Bradley.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Before you get into this question, can I just add something for Michelle?
Please.
And for everyone that's in on this or that's going to look at this, when choosing a niche, don't start out with Beverly Hills plastic surgeon.
Right.
as your niche. Don't think that you're going to build this multi-tiered network and that you're going to rank for Beverly Hills plastic surgeon, Beverly Hills rhinoplasty or whatever. I mean, you're starting out. Yeah, your end goal maybe should be Beverly Hills rhinoplasty, but you have to start somewhere lower along the rung in SEO. Find a niche that's going to make you money now, and then as you make money and as you're able to invest into your business, as you're able to add networks, power up your networks, age your networks, then you aim higher.
That's right. That's great advice. And in fact, I know Michelle. She is an SEO product veteran because the questions she asked last week were about OMG and Network Empire and all of these things. So I know she's got a lot of high-level training. So you have more than enough tools, Michelle, to build an incredible SEO business. And if you're having trouble putting them together, which I can understand, then that's really what our mastermind is reserved for. Not that you need another bill, but that's really what it's about. But I can tell from the questions that Michelle asked last week that she has all the tools and all the training that she needs to create a very profitable business. But what Marco just said, you boil it down to its very simplest solution, right? And that is to start off with the low-hanging fruit and work your way up as you build authority and pick up momentum with your networks. Because remember, guys, the more active you are with your networks, the more authority they're going to build. Okay, so you start off with low-hanging fruit and you work your way up to the more broad terms and more competitive terms that are going to be more profitable as well. And also, if you took the YouTube Silo Academy training, we're going to talk about that in a minute anyways, because I think Carl had some questions about that, but that's something else that you can do with your YouTube silos. is set up. Go for the lower hanging, more long tail terms first, and use those to boost the more broad terms and more competitive terms. Okay. And again, I'm not going to rehash that because that's in the YouTube Silo Academy training, which you guys should have access to. If you don't, it gives me a great opportunity to stick the link. Hey, Marco or Adam, or I'm sorry, Hernan, could you guys put youtube.silo.academy in the comments above? Drop the link in the comments, please.
Sure.
It's youtube.silo.academy. Okay, so I'm sorry. Let me get back to the question from Brian. I guess he says, if network syndication is usually coming from RSS feed according to the PDF. Well, that's not true. That's not what the PDF says. So that's an incorrect statement there. But he says, I guess the question is, most of the RSS feeds coming from several PBNs, or is it coming from the blog of your money site for the best results? Okay. First of all, it depends on what your networks are built for. Are they built for video syndication, or are they built for blog syndication? That's going to determine, number one, where your content comes from. Okay, that's going to be the very first step. So if we go back to this handy-dandy graphic here, are you syndicating your blog content, or are you syndicating your YouTube content? Again, I've said this many, many times, unless you guys are already pretty good at SEO or very familiar with SEO, I would suggest starting with YouTube. Number one, it's easier. Number two, you don't have to worry about footprint issues because you're just syndicating, you're acting as a publisher for Google. When you start using these networks for syndicating blog content, it's a little bit trickier. You got to be a lot more careful. Okay, so again, starting off, if you're unsure, if you're a little shaky with your SEO, your foundation, your understanding of how SEO works and footprints and things like that, then I would suggest starting with YouTube. However, that said, if you are going to be doing it for blogs, syndicating blog content, it's going to be your blog content that gets syndicated. Okay, to tier 1. That's your branded network, right? And this is very, very important. And I don't want to get into this in too much detail, because if you purchased the IFTTT SEO Academy, we did 3 advanced training webinars, advanced strategy webinars, but number 1 and number 2 were specific. Number 1 was specifically about tiered networks. Number 2, the beginning of it, was about what I'm talking about right now, which is footprints if you're using this for blog syndication. So go back and watch those, okay? But if you're going to be using blog content or using these networks for blog content, you're going to be syndicating your content from your blog to tier 1. And then if you go out to tier 2 or in tier 3 or however many tiers out you want to go, then you're going to be blending additional content sources in so that it's not always just posting your content. It's going to be a mixture of other people's content. And it's also going to provide consistent activity on these, which increases the authority and the trust signals on all of these networks. Okay? So again, Brian, I recommend that you go back and watch the advanced strategy webinars. It will explain exactly what it is that you're asking here. BJ, hey BJ, he's been following us for a long time. He says, I attended the intro webinar for Lead Gadget, and they mentioned that they use 0 backlinks for the sites generated in the ATM. How does this tie in with the IFTTT SEO, local SEO, and semantic mastery, or are we just ranking the videos inside the ATM sites? Great question, BJ. In fact, it's something that I hadn't even thought about, was that with Serp Shaker sites that you build out, or even Lead Gadget sites, which can build 33,000 page sites all in like 20 minutes, think about embedding a video when you do that build. Like, you get your video embedded on 20,000 pages or 30,000 pages. I haven't tested that for video SEO yet, but that brings up a great test for me to set up now based on that question. I'd like to see if that has an effect on that. But as far as how does IFTTT, our training, incorporate with theirs, well, it doesn't necessarily, other than the fact that we talk about how we can take our leads now that we generate and sell them into the Lead Gadget network, and they'll take care of selling those leads out to the end user, which would be local businesses, right? If you're doing local business leads, they also have like CPA offers and stuff like that. But I'm talking about on a strictly local business level. If we're generating leads, but let's say you're poor at prospecting and contacting clients, right? And sales and all that, which I'm not very good at, and that's why I set up sales funnels, prospecting and sales funnels, right? Because that does it all for me. But let's say you're generating leads, but you haven't monetized the leads yet. Well, you can sell them to the Lead Gadget, team, and they'll take care of it for you. They've got a salesperson on staff now who's a rock star. He can sell the leads, contact the clients, things like that. That's number 1. Number 2, if you have clients that want leads, but you're not producing leads for them yet, you can actually refer your clients into the Lead Gadget team or system, and they will provide other members of the Lead Gadget service will be able to provide the leads for your clients, to your clients, and you'll get a commission of that. So essentially you're an affiliate for leads, a lead generation affiliate at that point, where you get a cut of every single lead sold to your clients that you referred. Okay, so you can monetize it either way. Either you produce the leads and sell the leads to Lead Gadget, or you produce the clients that purchase the leads and you get a cut off every single lead that they purchase. So that's how that works. And the last part of that is that when golden niches are identified and we find pockets of keywords and locations that are just easy to just crush it, and people that are in Lead Gadget are doing are producing leads in those areas, they're going to want, and this is part of the special arrangement I have with those guys, they're going to want to be contacting us and requesting help to dominate or blanket entire pages for those keywords. So when they find those low-hanging fruit keywords, they're going to be contacting us and saying, well, some of them will, the ones that want to, they'll contact us and say, hey, look, we'd like to have you rank some videos and some Web 2s for us so that we can basically own the entire page for that keyword. And that's where we come in, because with our IFTTT networks, all we got to do is syndicate a video for those low-hanging fruits, and that's going to rank almost instantly, and then the Web 2s are going to surface very shortly thereafter. Does that make sense? So it's a way to get essentially they're going to be contracting work from us as well.
Hey, Bradley.
Yes.
Once again, if I can interject.
Please.
For BJ. Now, you don't necessarily have to sell the leads or turn over the leads to Lead Gadget, or turn over your Lead Gadget website or your Serp Shaker website to somebody else. What you're doing, and it's the Serp Shaker name tells you, you're just shaking up things and seeing what falls out. Now, what falls out is what you can rank. You can take that and then go over and build out your networks, because you know where you're going to rank, and you know where you're going to make money. And then you just that Serp Shaker or that authority website that you just created. We teach you how to 301, how to double 301, how to set up a Slipstream link in the mastermind area. We teach you how to do all that. So you don't have to turn it over. You can keep your properties.
Well, that's right.
You can keep your leads. You can do everything yourself. We're just offering you different ways for you to monetize, to go out and make money, so that you can build out, so that you can be more successful, and so that you can keep everything yourself.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to. Is the question was, how does Lead Gadget work with us? Like, how did that whole thing tie in with us? And it's just something that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention, to say, look, this is an opportunity for additional monetization methods. You don't have to use it. By all means, you don't have to use it. It's there. It's available for you to use, and I wanted to make sure that you guys were exposed to it, because I think it's a very unique opportunity to monetize IFTTT networks multiple ways. So that's what it comes down to. Okay. All right. So the next question was from Carl Lee. He's got several more questions here, and he says, in YouTube Silo Academy course, I understood keywords for the videos in the silo have to be in close proximity to the main keyword. How is this accomplished when you're doing speculative lead gen site? Let's see. Could you answer this using the example below and answer the follow-up questions as well? Thanks. If I follow the playlist monosilo structure used in the YouTube Silo Academy for speculative lead gen, for a speculative lead gen site, roofing contractor Richmond, VA is the example given. I have the following questions. Question 1, does this mean that levels 2 through 5, this is a very specific question. I should have the graphic up for this. Let's see. That's okay. I'm going to try to get through this because we got a ton of questions to get through, and it's like already 30 minutes in. Question 1, does this mean the level 2 to 5 keywords would have to be created with similar keywords in order to rank for the main keyword? Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of the silo. Okay, so what I would suggest doing is following the training, using the keyword research, coming up with the closely related keyword phrases. Okay, when you're using it, let me make a suggestion, is that you would try to find, maybe remove the geographic modifier, and instead just maybe look up roofing contractor. Okay, because it's going to be, and here, let me just show one other tool, and I mentioned this in the training. Once again, this is in the training, but let me just bring this open as well. We'll go to Google Trends. This is a tool that I use all the time to determine which are the best keywords in a particular location. So if I say roofing contractor, and that might be a bit too specific for historical data, but we're going to find out. So google.com/trends. That's how you find this tool. So if I come in here and I search roofing contractor, and you can see right now the location is set worldwide. I want to narrow that down. Let's say I want to go to United States. I click the little arrow right there. It's going to open up the drop down. I can scroll down and let's see, he used Richmond, Virginia, so I'm going to go into Virginia. I can click the drop down, and this will show me the major metropolitan areas in the state of Virginia. Okay, so right here is Richmond-Petersburg, Virginia. Now I can click on that and we'll see, and there's apparently, again, that's too much of a long tail term. We're too tight on the geo-targeting. Okay, so we need to go a little bit more broad than that, or we need to just open up our area, broaden our area a bit, our location, right? So for example, if this is a bit too narrow, then I could come back, and what I'm trying to get at here without going, this is not a keyword research video. I'll grab the local keyword research video and post that link for you guys right here on the events page, because I did a 25-minute video specifically on keyword research. It's not part of the YouTube Silo Academy training, but you have access to that video as well if you'd like. I'll grab that link for you in just a moment. But what I want to say here is if you're going with a long tail term like this that does not return any data, it's just because it's too long tail for Google to track it. That's all that means. It doesn't mean it's not being searched for. But you can also usually just back your area out, so go a bit more broad in your geographic area, and you'll get better results. So for example, instead of just clicking on this metropolitan area, let me click on Virginia. Let's see if it returns any data. And it does return some. It's not showing historical data, but it is showing Washington, D.C. has enough data for it to track. So instead of going to just Virginia, I could even back up and go all the way to the United States, because what I found is that for the most part, you're going to find related keywords anyways. All right, so if we go back to United States, if you can see now my targeting is the entire country. All right, if I scroll back down, now you're going to see some additional keyword phrases here that are related, and this is historical data, which is showing the top search terms, related terms based on your seed keyword over a period of time. There's also what's called the rising button here. If you click that, that's going to show you terms that have had a significant increase in search queries since the last time they indexed the data, which is every 30 days. Okay, so it's had a significant jump or increase in search queries since then. So that's why this is called the trends tool, because you can get out ahead of trends and optimize for keywords sometimes that aren't traditionally or showing in the historical data record, if that makes sense. Okay, so there's a couple ways to do it. Like I said, you've got if we use the Google keyword tool, and we'll just go ahead and do this quick because we're into it now. This will just take a moment. We're going to use that same keyword set that he said, which was roofing contractor, Richmond, VA. The problem with adding a geographic term in it is you're going to come back with some very limited results. So if I say roofing contractor, Richmond, VA, which, by the way, guys, the second week of the upcoming masterclass is going to be on keyword research, okay, and also YouTube channel optimization, and in the video, on-page video optimization, okay. Anyways, if I do just the geographic model or the long tail term with the geographic modifier, and I hit get ideas, it's going to take a second to read. When it comes back, we click on keyword ideas, but this is going to go very broad, right? This is going to bring back everything. If we scroll down, we'll see that it's showing 800 keywords. Okay, well, we don't want that. And again, this is covered in the training, so I'm not sure why I'm going through this again, but in the keyword options section over here, if you click on that and click on show keywords only related, only show ideas closely related to my search terms, click that filter on and then click the button. Now it's going to come back, and in fact, you can see that that's a bit too narrow. So what I would do is I would come back and maybe narrow it or broaden it up a bit and get rid of contractor and just go with roofing Richmond, VA. That's a broader term. Click get ideas. Now you take a look, it's only showing 8 keywords instead of 800 as related keyword phrases. Okay, so now you can see this is the seed keyword, which could be the top of the silo, the playlist title as well. And now you've got these additional keywords here. Now there's 2 of them in here that I can see that wouldn't make sense. Roofing supplies. Well, essentially you could do a video on those too. Why not? You could even actually rent the roofing supplies video out to a roofing supply company, right? That's a different monetization method. And it would just reinforce this silo. Why? Because Google's telling you that this is a closely related term. Right? So essentially, and I know one of your follow-up questions here is, do you monetize the videos to the same contractor, or and this is where you could actually monetize the roof supply videos to a roofing supply company, because they're usually separate businesses, right? But my point is right here, now you've got the seed keyword phrase and you've got 8 supporting terms as well. So now your silo is a total of 9 videos deep. Okay, and then you could even do it some other stuff like roof repair. But what I was saying was, if you could take a look, this is not returning a whole lot of results, which is okay. We don't need a whole lot of results, right? But if you want to go with some additional terms, you can always append the geographic modifier to these keyword phrases, because these are related keyword phrases that Google is telling you is related. They just don't have Richmond, VA after them. But you can always append that data. Okay? So again, that's as far as I'm going to go into keyword research on this Hump Day Hangout, because the masterclass, second week of masterclass, is going to be specifically about that. We'll go into a lot more detail about it then. Okay? Question 2, if this is true, does this mean I have to create 4 free videos in levels 2 to 5 to rank the main lead gen video, which I rent for $100 per month? Is this correct? Well, first of all, that's if you're renting it for $100 a month. I mean, that's entirely up to you how much you want to rent it for. I don't know where that figure came from. If you're just pulling that figure out of the air, then yeah, if that's what you want to rent it for, is $100 a month, then sure. Do you have to create 4 free videos? No, you don't have to do that at all. I mean, it's just if you're trying to rank for a broad term and you need the used YouTube silos to rank that term, then you can either sell those same videos if they all rank for the various keywords, the related keywords. You can either increase your price from $100 to say $200 a month and let them rent all of those videos, or you're just doing it because it's going to rank the video and make your job easier. And then if is it 4 free videos, well, maybe, but I don't care. I mean, listen, guys, I told you guys I do video SEO. I sell video SEO services wholesale to video production companies, and they turn around and sell them retail. Well, occasionally I'll get a video or a keyword, because that's what the client wants, that doesn't rank as well as I would like it to from my networks, from just the single video being syndicated. So what do? I'll do the YouTube silo strategy, and I'll push another 5 or 6 videos out, sometimes more, that all link to that one video. Do I charge the client extra for that? No, because it only takes me a few minutes. And the end result is that I'm still getting the money that I had agreed to get to charge them to rank that one video. If you can monetize it, by all means monetize it. I'm not saying do free work. I'm just saying it's entirely up to you what you work out on that. The other way that you could monetize that is on a pay-per-lead basis. If you're doing a pay-per-lead basis, then all of those additional videos are potentially going to generate more leads, which means more revenue. Okay? Last question. Question 3, if this is not true, who would the supporting level 2 to 5 videos be for another business in the same, I guess that was supposed to be before another business in the same category for local SEO and a different geo market, since you were offering exclusivity for Richmond? Well, no, because if you're doing it in a silo fashion, it's going to be Richmond videos. So again, I think you're overthinking this, Carl. Just use what you have to. You might not even need to use YouTube silos. That's what I'm trying to get at. You guys don't overcomplicate this. YouTube silos is a tool. It's a method that you can use to rank tougher keywords. But for many of the keywords that I rank for clients, I don't even need YouTube silos. In fact, it would be a waste of my time to set them up. You only use look, you always want to do the bare minimum that it takes to rank something. Why? Because if it needs a boost later on, you still got tricks up your sleeve. You still got things left in the, tools in the tool shed that you haven't used yet. Okay, which would be like, for example, a YouTube silo. Don't go out and create YouTube silos arbitrarily because you think that's what you need to do to rank the videos. Try ranking the videos first. If they don't rank, then you can apply that as an additional, method to help you to rank that video. Okay. All right. Could you outline for a specific geographical area how you would theme out a persona tier 1 site using silo structure for local businesses in general? I know you did something like this for parts of Virginia. Yeah, but I don't recommend that. Again, I recommend, with the question here, guys, just to clarify this for those of you that aren't following the question, he's asking about could I outline how to set up location-based silos, okay, instead of industry-based or niche-based silos, and I don't recommend that. Yeah, you can do it. So, but again, guys, I don't recommend that only because it's more work than needed. It's more work than you're gonna have to do more keyword research and all that kind of stuff. I recommend doing a niche-based structure instead. But if you were going to do that, then let's say, for example, in Virginia, let's just use 2 counties as an example. There's, let's say, Fairfax County. I use that all the time in examples, and in Prince William County. That's another county in Virginia, right? If I was going to be doing videos for various businesses through one channel that was a Virginia-based channel, that was the common denominator for that channel. The theme was that all of the businesses, all of the videos were Virginia-based businesses. That's not the preferred way to do it. I've done that, but it's not the preferred way to do it. But however, if I was going to continue to do that, then I could create a Fairfax County businesses silo or playlist and a Prince William County businesses silo or playlist. And then all of the business videos that I had in Fairfax would go into that Fairfax silo. Okay, and that will help only because I can run backlinks. I can build backlinks to that silo or that playlist URL, right? And what happens when you build backlinks to a playlist URL? You're essentially pushing juice into every one of the videos within that playlist. And again, that's covered in the YouTube Silo Academy. But, you know, Carl, I know you're getting started. I know you've got a lot of questions. You're struggling a little bit with building these, with understanding the concept here. But don't overcomplicate things, man. You need to just start simple. Start with one video. Try to rank it. If you need to build a silo, then build a silo. I recommend going with a niche or theme-specific silo and not a location-based silo. You'll have better results, and you'll do less work. Okay, Monique.
Hey Bradley, before you go on,
okay,
just to clarify again, that $100 is just something that you threw out. You know, just to rent your videos out quick, you threw out a $50 or $100 figure. The way because we talked about this before in another webinar, and you know there's different ways that you can come to a figure. The way I do it is percentage. I mean, how much is the client worth to the person that you're renting the video out to? If it's a $50,000 client, you know, you're not going to charge $100 for the video. No way.
I don't know.
No, right? So you have to come up with a figure that's comfortable for you and that you know you can take to the client and he's just going to eat it up.
That's right. So yeah, I mean, guys, it's case by case basis. I mean, when I sell wholesale SEO services to video production companies, there is a flat rate, and that's just what it is. But it's easy to me. I prefer that method personally, only because they're the ones out selling the services, so I don't have to do any sales, and they're the ones managing the clients. They're the point of contact with the client. So all I deal with is I'm the man behind the curtains, just providing the services, and I get paid by the video production companies, and they deal with the client headaches. So that's why I throw that out. But again, it would be case by case basis. I would price your videos according to competition, according to what the revenue from the leads would generate. If you want to get a bit more advanced, go with the pay-per-lead model. It's going to make you more money. It's a bit more management, but it does make you more money. Okay. So I'm going to move on. I'm happy. Monique, she's been awesome recently. She joined, and she's had a lot of good things to say. So welcome again, Monique. We're glad to have you. I'm happy to be now part of the G+ community. Okay, great. She said she was preparing questions. Scott says, could you review, hey Scott, he's also been very supportive of us recently. Could you review when to use Chrome and when to use Firefox and for which tests? Great question. I use Firefox for all SEO related activity, guys. All SEO related activity, which means checking rankings, which means logging into persona accounts, logging into PBNs, everything I do in Firefox, and I clean them, wipe it clean with proxy tool. I use Firefox itself to clear history. Then I do proxy tool to clear ever cookie and then clear flash cookies, and then I use CCleaner. And that is the standard process. It's just habit now. I do it so quick, it's like I don't even think about it. It's just before I check rankings, before I log into accounts, I just go through that very quick process where I use Firefox options, clear history, then I use proxy tool, which is the tool in the bottom right corner here. I'll just open it up and walk you through it very quickly. But for all so this is Firefox, and so for history, I just hit clear history, clear now, and by the way, for clear recent history, I make sure that I have browsing and download history, cookies, cache, active logins, all of that checked. In fact, site preferences should be checked too. Click clear now. Then I come down here to the proxy tool, which is the add-on that we talk about in IFTTT SEO Academy. It's in the setup. Right-click on that little icon. I go to remove ever cookie, and you'll see in a second there will be a little pop-up right here. It says ever cookie are clear, and then I also click on it and remove flash cookies. Click OK. Then I shut it down. Then I open up CCleaner and I run CCleaner. Okay, and so I do all SEO related activities inside of Firefox, and then I use Chrome for my main personal account, which is Bradley Benner and Semantic Mastery and all of the other main accounts that I log into. Okay, and remember guys, if you have a YouTube channel that you've set up under a persona or whatever that you want to use as your money channel, then you can just assign your main profile, you personally, your main Google profile as a page manager, and then you can log in and do all of your work inside of your, within your own Google account on that page. Okay, so just so you know, I'm always logged into Chrome as Bradley Benner or Semantic Mastery. It's one of my pages that I manage, right? So I'm always logged in Chrome for that stuff. My Google Drive, everything is all here. But then in Chrome, or I'm sorry, in Firefox, I do that for all SEO related stuff. Okay, great question though, Scott. Monique says, have you mastered yet the most natural way to add content on autopilot to our RSS feeds for Google Sites news page posts? I'm interested in using IFTTT triggers, for example, if you have a solution with a recipe. That's a great question. Marco had been actually working on that. Have we figured out a way? I know, and Chris, our developer, was actually working on setting up a trigger that would allow us to auto post to Google Google Sites, and we were not able to. We got close, but we still had to manually trigger it. I don't know. Chris isn't on with us right now, but Marco, do you know if we were able to solve that or not? I don't think we did. Did we lose Marco?
For what I know, I think that Chris was near it, because we will need to use the events feature on Google Sites, but I think Chris is still working on it.
Yeah, I don't think it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's still manual. Excuse me. Yeah, we have to get around that. We have to find a workaround because it's a Google property and you have to do it right. If not, you're gonna get burned.
Yeah, that's true. And I know we had been working on it. It wasn't a huge, high priority item, Monique, but we, in fact, since you just reminded us, see if we can't light that fire again and, figure out if we can work on that a little bit more. But no, as far as I know right now, we don't. By the way, if anybody here is listening to this and they know of a way, please share it with us, okay? Because we would love to know that if we don't have the solution ourselves yet, okay? So, Monique, we will try to get on that for you. Okay, Craig Smith. Hey, Craig, how are you doing, buddy? Good to see you here. He says, I'm rebuilding a local business website and wondering how best to structure. It's going to have 6 different services. My question is, should I have a main services page with brief details and links to each service? So structure would be like this. Or just eliminate the main services page and go with domain/1. Great question. Personally, what I do, Craig, is I would still put a services page that would have exactly what you said, like a snippet, a brief summary or description of each service and a link to those services. However, it would not be part of the silo structure of the site. It would be strictly or purely a navigational page only. Okay, and then your domain, your URL structure would be exactly as you have it listed here at the bottom, where the top of your silo would be domain/1, service 1, the service name 1, right? And then the top of silo number 2 would be domain.com/service name number 2, and so on and so forth. But services would be eliminated from the URL structure because that's unnecessary for the silo. But I would still, instead, because the only way that you would be able to do this and have it make sense to the user, not from an SEO standpoint. This is strictly for the end user, the visitor, the humans, right? Not the machines, but the humans. Would be to have those navigational buttons for each silo in the menu, the navigational bar, right? The menu at the top of the site. But if you've got 6 services, that could get a bit cluttered, a bit crowded, right? So instead, you just put a navigational page called services on your site. So you'd have one button at the top that you click that takes you to a services page where there it would have links to the top of each silo or each service. Does that make sense? So absolutely, that's a great question, but I would make the services page a navigational page only. It's just for the ease of navigating the site, and then your silos would start from the services page, but the URL would not. You would not contain. You wouldn't make your silo pages or your services pages child pages of your service page. Does that make sense? Each one of your service pages would be their own parent page. In other words, okay. I hope that was clear. Braulio says, is it just webinars? Okay, he must be asking about the masterclass. Is it just webinars, or will you also be producing documents in some kind of blueprint, or maybe at the end a blueprint with, for example, weekly actionable items that would be available? That's a great suggestion, Braulio. So we can have an idea of how long and what the amount of effort is. That's a great suggestion. For the masterclass, yeah, I can do that. What I can do is when I'm developing the outline and the notes for each week, I can, I'm going to make those notes available anyways. But what I could do is put them in a structure such as, step one, or do this first, do this next, in a very linear fashion, so that you guys will have kind of like the notes will become the blueprint. That's a great, it's a great suggestion. So yeah, I can definitely do that. Is it just webinars? No. I mean, I said if you watch the sales video, and I should put the notes underneath the sales video. I probably will. I just built that page, so I haven't had a chance to completely tighten it up yet, polish it up yet. But the notes will be available from every week, including any visual aids such as graphics that I produce, the timestamps, everything else. But as far as the notes themselves, were they going to be a blueprint? No, but that's a good way for me to structure those notes for you guys. So you'll get all of that. You'll get the weekly webinar archives, and then you'll get all of the additional like supporting aids for each week along with it. Okay, but great question, Braulio. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I just got here. Is the masterclass included with full mastermind membership? Yes, another great question. Thank you for asking, BJ. I'm sorry I wasn't clear about that up front, guys. Anybody that is already a mastermind member, yes, you get 100% full access to the masterclass without a doubt. It's just in addition to what you already get. Remember, you guys get the bi-weekly webinars where we talk about advanced SEO, right? And that's also the discussion forum, guys. Like I said, I had to put a little bit of a stop to, if you're in one of our programs that has a group, then we do discussing in the groups. But I've been getting hit up with private messages on Facebook and in Google Plus and now in Skype as well, and it's become a bit out of control. So I need to limit discussions to the groups that are set up for you guys that are designated for that kind of thing, and then also mastermind members have a little bit more access to me, obviously. But that's a great question, BJ. Yeah, any mastermind member, by the way, will get any products that we release that are under $500. You guys get them for free, included with your mastermind, and that includes this monthly membership masterclass here as well. Okay, anything over $500, if or when we release larger products, training products, you guys will get a significant discount. Okay, just so you know. Okay, we've only got a few minutes left, so I'm going to try to get through a few more of these questions, guys, and we're going to cut it off at 5 p.m. on the dot. And part of the reason why is because when we start the masterclass, which I believe is going to start in 2 weeks from today, we're going to have to be very strict about Hump Day Hangouts ending at 5 p.m. because that's when the masterclass will begin. Okay, so we're going to cut this to 1 hour only. Roland says, in the YouTube Silo Academy course, I understood keywords for the videos in the silo have to be in close proximity to the main keyword. Have you got an example of a good playlist setup? That was a great question that we just covered. Hopefully you can go back and watch what I just talked about for Carl. And then, let's see. You know what, that's a question that maybe I could set up a playlist for next week, Roland, because we're running short on time now, and cover this again. Hey, Marco, could you make a note of Roland's question, please? And we'll post it on the next week's events page, and that way I'll have time to prepare something ahead of time.
No problem.
Okay. Braulio again says, if I build a network and don't log in any of the Web 2.0 accounts for a while, how long do you think it will take for some of those accounts to be closed or deactivated? I've got networks, guys, that have been built for 2.5 and 3 years now that still are active that I haven't logged into in a year and a half. Seriously, it's as long as you're consistently updating content on them. It's not really an issue. Now, we talked about the Google accounts are a little bit trickier. It's good to log into the Google accounts, probably like once a month or something. I don't know what the actual threshold is that Google will terminate an account, but I know that they will if you don't log into it forever. Not all of them. Some of it's arbitrary, guys. It's a randomness to it because I have Google accounts that I haven't logged into in 5 years. No kidding, but I know they're still active because if you visit the Google Plus link for that account, it still shows the page or the profile. If the account gets terminated, it's going to give you a 500 error or like a 404 page not found error message with the little robot, image. You guys know what I'm talking about when Google terminates an account. So I know that some of those, but some of them do get shut down, Braulio. But remember, I talked about in one of the other webinars, probably a Hump Day Hangouts, that there are recipes that you can use that are Gmail recipes. In other words, with your IFTTT networks, you can set up a recipe to where when it detects an RSS feed item, so whether it's an RSS trigger or a YouTube trigger, that it sends a Gmail, which kind of mimics somebody logging into the Gmail because it's now an outbound email instead of just always inbound emails. remember when you set up the accounts, you're gonna get a lot of inbound emails from the Web 2.0 accounts if you're using the Gmail account to create the other accounts. If you're doing it for a website, I suggest you use a webmail account. But if you're doing it just for video syndication, you're going to probably use the Gmail account if you follow the training to register all your other accounts. So you're always going to have inbound emails coming in anyways, Twitter and Tumblr and things like that. They'll send you stuff, junk basically. But I found that if you set up at least one Gmail recipe so when either you upload a video or an RSS feed item is detected, that it triggers it to send a Gmail, then a lot of the times that's all it takes to keep that account active. And there's a recipe that you could set up. I've got the recipe created, guys. I just never created a video for it, but LiveJournal, livejournal.com, you can post to via email. So you can set up a recipe to post to a LiveJournal account via Gmail. And it's easy to set up. The only problem with it, the reason why I really didn't share it, is because the only thing that it will actually post is a naked URL. It will not post a anchor text URL, and it will not post an embed. So the only thing that LiveJournal will show up, like the only SEO benefit of that is a naked URL. So in other words, a straight URL anchor. All right. So, but that's just an idea. You can do that. You can also set up a RSS to Blogger via Gmail recipe, or RSS to Digo via Gmail recipe. Those are both listed in the actual workbook. Okay. Okay, Sandra says, hey Sandra, she's awesome. She was on the Lead Gadget last night. She likes my French. I love to say that because I always giggle every time I think about that, and I'm glad to have you, Sandra. She says, thank you for clarifying how we use our main channel and personas accounts. Yes, you're more than welcome. Chris Gank says, hey Chris, confused about the difference between Tier 2 and secondary Tier 1 networks. Great question, Chris. Tier 2 networks are going to be these. So anything that is basically building backlinks to your Tier 1 properties, right? So those are Tier 2 networks. Anything that is building backlinks to your Tier 1 properties are considered second-tier networks. Secondary Tier 1 networks would be additional networks that you tie into your main money site or your main money channel that you're syndicating directly to, so that the backlinks that it creates are pointing directly to your money site or your money channel. Okay, does that make sense? So Tier 2 is always building links to Tier 1. Secondary Tier 1 is always building links to your money site, your golden frame, ground zero, right? The epicenter of all activity, right? So that's essentially what secondary Tier 1 does. Remember, guys, I recommend with YouTube, you can set up a branded network. You should have a branded network for every single web property you have on the web, period. You should have a branded network for it. But if you're setting up secondary Tier 1 networks, it's fine to do that for YouTube because it's not a footprint issue. But if you're doing it for your blog, you have to treat your secondary Tier 1 networks, as Tier 2 networks and mix in other content sources, because otherwise you're leaving a footprint that could get you into trouble. And again, that's covered in the advanced training. We've got 2 more minutes, and we've got to wrap it up. Scott says, so what niche has low-quality SEO peeps that I could excel very fast to monetize quickly, i.e. the lower-hanging cash? Great question, Scott. The best thing that I could suggest doing is testing. Okay, testing. Do some keyword research. Start just thinking about it logically and looking for longer-tail terms, looking for things that I like to look at them as more buyer, like where are people in the buying cycle when they're searching for keyword phrases. Typically long tail, they're closer to buying than they are for broad. For example, this is one example I've used multiple times. If you're going after roofing, Richmond, VA, let's use that as the example. Those people are generally looking to get 5, 6, 8, whatever estimates. So they're shopping, right? They're shopping around. But if somebody's looking for emergency roof repair, Richmond, VA, or 24-hour roof repair, Richmond, VA, that right there is somebody that has a credit card in hand. They've got a problem that they need solved now. So that is a monetize, a keyword a lot further down along in the buying cycle. That's just an example. There's countless examples of keywords that you could target that are lower competition levels. They're more long tail in nature generally. So what I would suggest doing is just testing. Guys, I've mentioned this before. One of the best testing tools available is Serp Shaker, in my opinion, because you can test hundreds and even thousands of keywords very quickly. If you're interested in seeing a demo video of that, go to semanticmastery.com/Serp Shaker, one word, SERP SHAKER. So semanticmastery.com/Serp Shaker. That will actually take you to the sales page for it if you'd like. But if you want to see the demo, just go to Google and type in Serp Shaker demo, and you'll see our video is, well, it was yesterday. It was number 2, and apparently it's not there anymore. But we have a video on our site. We'll have to pull the link and put it on this page here. But we did a whole demo on how to set it up and how we use it. But it's a great way to find dozens. I mean, sometimes you can find just these killer keywords that you can just dominate for using that plugin. Okay, so we need to locate that video, guys, and post that on this. But we're gonna wrap it up anyways. Let me ask one more from Sandra. Okay, what would be the best way to promote if I make a video and then post it on my blog? Do I do 2 separate strategies, or should I favor the video or the blog? No, Sandra, do both. Do both. So in other words, if you've got a blog and you build a branded network around your blog, let's take a look at this. Let's say you're going to use your blog, and you're going to have a YouTube channel, right? So you put you connect your blog to your branded network, right? But then you create persona networks and connect them to your YouTube channel, so that when you upload your video to your YouTube channel, it's going to syndicate out, and it's going to pick up backlinks and embeds and everything else, right? Then you take the embed code and you go post it on your blog post. Right, you embed it in your blog post, and then when you publish your blog post is going to syndicate out across your branded network too. So now you've gotten double syndication out of it, right? So that's what I like to do and that's why I've talked about before. If you build a companion website to your YouTube channel, then you start by syndicating your videos to your YouTube channel first. Then you grab the embed code and publish it on your blog, and your blog's going to syndicate to its own networks, and you get double the syndication. Okay, and what ends up happening a lot of the times is not only will the video rank, but the blog post will rank, and some of the Web 2s as well, depending on the keyword, right? Okay. All right, guys, that's it. There's some other questions that got missed, but we're going to have to wrap up here because it's 5:02, and I wanted to try to keep this to 1 hour from now on. So appreciate everybody being here.
Hey Bradley, we have someone with a testimonial that maybe you want to share. Brian, take a look higher up.
Can you? I'm actually looking for that video. Can you read it, please?
No, I'm saying Brian says he just wanted to report results from IFTTT Semantic Mastery, and he's showing Google web results at number 5.
Okay.
For a Google Plus channel video, number 6 Google Plus second channel video, number 12 for a video, number 13 for the YouTube channel. He says he owns spots 1 through 5.
Where is Google this comment? I don't even see it.
Oh, it just popped.
I'm not seeing it. That's cool. No, that's great. I'm just not seeing the comment. But that's fantastic. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Oh, Brian. Okay, I'm sorry. It was in the read more. I had to expand the comment. Hey, Brad, just wanted to report my results from your IFTTT Semantic Mastery. This is Brian. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name, buddy, because I will butcher it. Check this out. These are my results after 2 weeks with only 3 videos I posted on the same day I set up the network. Only 3 videos I posted on the same day I set up the network. This is for a brand, not a particular keyword. Okay, well, that helps, but that's okay. Google Web Results, number 5, number 6, number 12, number 13. Google Video Results, I own spots 1 through 5. This has occurred with just the YouTube branded Tier 1 network. Thanks, Brad. I am a believer, and I'm busy building my Tier 2 network. Keep it up. Awesome, Brian. That's fantastic. Wait till you start ranking for keywords then, too, besides your brand name. It's going to be very exciting. It's very exciting, guys. And so a lot of you that are questioning whether you can monetize, like how to monetize that sort of thing, that's what we're going to be talking about in the masterclass. By the way, I'm going to post this, and then we're definitely wrapping it up. I just found the video for the Serp Shaker demo, and I just pasted the link in here. Let me actually, if you guys want to take a look at that, just watch that video. It's the whole webinar that I did about it, but it will show you the power. I mean, I think it's crazy powerful, guys. Anybody that's really trying to build a business out of this makes it's a small investment to make to be able to really multiply your results tenfold. No questions asked. So, okay, was that it, guys?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Hey, everybody, thanks for being here. Check out the masterclass. Remember, if you're interested in learning more about how to actually build a real business out of, like, you know how to build the networks now. But if you're struggling with any other part of monetizing those networks, making money, making a real business out of it, check out the masterclass, guys. It's $37 a month, and you get 4 hours of my time every month that's dedicated to showing you how to build a true business. That, I mean, again, my entire business is built around this model, okay? And so I want to kind of share that with you guys, and I try to make it as affordable as possible. I think that's a small price to pay to get that kind of coaching, and you'll have access to the webinar archives and everything else. So I think it's going to be valuable for you guys. I hope you come join me for that. Again, it should be starting in 2 weeks from today. And check that out. I think that was IFTTTSEO.com/masterclass, one word. Okay, and we will see you guys next Wednesday. For Mastermind students, we'll see you guys tomorrow because we got a Mastermind webinar tomorrow. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Marco. Thanks, Hernan.
Bye, everybody.